Hello friends, we are here with another Rush Royale video. I am sorry it took so long to launch another video, but it's been extremely busy. But let's get right into it with a Inquisitor for patch 4.0 and the new meta. Let's see how it does. This is the deck I currently grade as S+. And let's just see what it does. We will go straight into the strategy behind this deck. So first off, shout out to Glockma from the RS clan. Thanks for playing. Good guy, good player, similar stats as mine, so it's not going to be easy, I think, but we'll see. We're playing Inquisitor in the new season, well, in the new patch 4.0. It's the best deck in my opinion. You can use Frost with it. It's basically the old Hammer Time deck, but with Frost or with Cold Mage. In this patch, everything is about slowing your enemy, and you will see what I mean later in this video. So remember that slow as in using the Frost or the slow from Frost or Cold Mage, or also slow as in play Inquisitor slow, calmly, patiently, because that's how you win the games. Don't be overconfident, don't buy when you shouldn't. For example, the mana, like try and think of the 10 times multiplier. So if your mana cost is 100 to spawn a new unit, you should have at least like 1000 or 1100 more or less mana before you start spamming for new units. Keep that in mind. It's a good reminder for how to spend mana. When you get more experienced, of course, you will, it will become automatic. We want the grindstones, well, the Inquisitors more, we want them around the grindstones as good as possible. So I'm missing one right now. I'm gonna try and fix that later. Always try and do that. Like right now I have 260 mana. Let's not do anything, because if I make a mistake I cannot correct myself. Anyway, when do we level up the skills? It's also, you kind of have to feel it, like do everything balanced. Don't, when you have like some mana and you only have one Inquisitor on the field, don't go maxing out any skills, because you won't have a strong enough board. So try and balance everything. So let's see how this game evolves. Okay, so let's go over what else you will be seeing in this strategy guide for Inquisitor. We will be talking about crit, we will be talking about how to face Shaman players, we will be talking a few deck variations. You can already see Glockma playing the Hex version, and we will also be talking about how important slow has become and what this new meta is bringing. So that's coming up while we watch the rest of this game. Let's talk about crit first. So this deck is quite crit dependent. You are going to need some crit, especially the higher you get on the ladder. If you're lower on the ladder, by all means try it with lower crit and it will work. Just see how far you can get. But once you start getting up there, you're gonna need the crit to face the bigger players. Also, if you have higher crit, it will be a lot easier not to brick. Bricking means if you're not getting a unit, like you saw in the beginning of this game, I was staying calm. But if you can't get an Inquisitor for quite some time, it can be annoying. So if you have higher crit, it will help you very much. Later on in this video, you will also see us facing a Shaman, and we will also be talking about how the game evolved or what's going on in version 4.0. Talking about version 4.0, crit has become a lot more important. So let's talk a little bit about why should you use Frost or why should you use Cold Mage. Cold Mage has always been the preferred choice for Inquisitor players because of its ability to stack up the mobs, while Frost keeps them a little bit more spread. If we're talking in terms of the power of the slow, it's hard to say because my Frost is level 10, so it's decent. I don't know the difference between, you know, where you should be with a Cold Mage to reach that, but my Cold Mage is level 13, and to be honest, I don't really feel a difference. So the difference in how powerful the slow is, even if it says Cold Mage is technically a little bit stronger, you don't feel it. It's really, you know, it's not noticeable. So for me, that's not a point of discussion. What is a point of discussion? If you use Cold Mage, the mobs stack together, and, you know, at some point mobs could be passing you and reset your Inquisitor damage. At least that's what I believe. While with Frost that doesn't happen. Another important thing is Frost is more friendly to use, so it's also more beginner friendly earlier to mid game, so you will have a lot more benefit. So if you're having like a bit of bad luck with how your board is building, you will have a lot more power from your Frost than you will from a Cold Mage at that point. And last, towards the end game, when you have your final board built more or less, you're gonna need 2 or even 3 Cold Mages at tier 3 or higher for it to work properly, while you can get away with even 1 or preferably 2 tier 3 or higher Frosts. So those things you have to keep in mind, but all things considered, they are very close together. So if you're using one or the other, just keep in mind that you need to use a little bit more of the Cold Mages, but both will work just fine. So it's not really a discussion, it's preference. Now, if you guys been watching the game, you know, I'm starting to get a little bit in a pickle. He's got his lane pretty much under control, and I still didn't manage to get my last Inquisitor touching a grindstone. Look at the big wave of mobs eating me. It's going to eat me. So yeah, it's gonna be difficult. You think I'm gonna lose, right? So just pay attention, because, you know, I might surprise you. Let's see how the game evolves. So let's talk a little bit about Hex while we are playing a Hex player and what it does versus Grindstone, why I grade Grindstone higher. Well, the new mini boss came and everybody thought, yeah, now Grindstone sucks. The new mini boss and the surrounding mobs are immune to crit. Yeah, it's harder, but that's not why you want Grindstone. You want Grindstone for, one, the bosses, because it's still good against the old school, the regular bosses, and for the normal waves of mobs. It does a lot of damage, so that's the most important thing. Against the new mini boss and the surrounding mobs, he will have the benefit with Hex, and if you have a player with good stats, he can pull off late game Hex gameplay, basically. As you see now, he is just ripping through the waves, and I'm like getting in trouble. But look, here is my hero coming to the rescue with its slow. That's why I play it, it's really important. And I just want to slow things down, and that's why I say this 4.0 meta is all about the slow, because you're gonna see now what's going to happen, you know? He won't be able to slow his wave. He cannot stun everything and keep it stunned. While I'm just slowly slowing everything, he's getting hit 2 times, and I just slow everything. I don't need to kill it, because he got hit 2 times, I didn't. And look now, we're both going to get a huge boss. He's not gonna be able to kill it. I'm not gonna be able to kill it either, but I have the slow, it doesn't matter. So either, normally, in this case it's not happening, but normally I would slow the boss harder, and if I have my hero skill up, I would probably manage to be, you know, slowing it harder than he does his. But yeah, look, I'm gonna get hit, but I have my 3 hearts, and he's gonna lose the game right here, just because of the slow in the previous round. He couldn't control his wave, and I could. So, good game to Glockma. Hope to see you again soon. But now, let's move on. And I wanted to show this clip because of 2 things. Oxo, I've played him before. He's a pretty good player. And he's playing a deck that's gonna be popular in this meta. I graded it A tier, I believe, because I don't see more potential. I don't know, I might be wrong, so I've been playing with it, I haven't tested it enough, but my deck is way far more superior. So let's just see how this game goes. you can straight away see I already have like 3 out of 4 around my grindstone. I'm also playing Gold Mage here. You know, you will see there's not much difference, but still I prefer Frost. And let's see what he does against my deck. So I'm also showing you this clip because Corsair is a very good option. You know, in this meta it can get you pretty far if played correctly. And also very important is if you don't have the crit, not enough crit to play the grindstone, you can play that deck. It's pretty solid. You can also try, instead of the Trapper, you can bring in Mime. So you have Mime, Summoner, Harlequin, Corsair and Executioner. That's also a pretty cool combo. It can go really far. Like we tested it and we went, the mobs had like 600k HP, so you can get pretty far with it. So definitely test that out, or this one. They both kind of work. It's just about practicing and getting the hang of things, but definitely worth it, but not strong enough to beat the grindstone deck. So let's see how this match evolves, and after this one I will be showing you how we are going to beat Shamans with the Inquisitor deck. I didn't mention this earlier, but obviously Warlock is also a weak link for the deck we're facing there with Corsair. But also keep in mind, it's looking bad for the guy now, but it's because of the grindstone, you know. Well, the grindstone, the Inquisitor, he is killing the mobs really quickly, he's keeping the pace really good, and he's getting overrun because he needs to build his damage, and you know, he's at the back of the line right now. So let's see how it goes, and don't forget, after this we're gonna kill us a Shaman. Okay, let's face the Shaman. Shamans are mostly a problem for beginners and newer players. If they first start facing Shamans, they don't know what to do. Shamans are a pain in the ass for any deck, it doesn't matter, but that's just that, they are annoying. Don't expect to have your perfect deck like you could build otherwise, because that's most of the time not gonna happen against a Shaman, so just accept it. There, we got our first Inquisitor, so I just want my Inquisitor there and I want to get as much value out of it as possible. And side note, you can BM Shaman players, nobody cares. Just kidding, guys. Anyway, so I want to get as much value as possible out of my Inquisitor there, and I want to get as much mana as possible to build my deck. And once my deck is built, he can't do much. I won't have the perfect deck against the Shaman player because he will be picking off my units left and right, but I just need my 4 Inquisitors, and it doesn't even matter if they're touching a grindstone, because a Shaman will never have enough damage output to last against an Inquisitor player. So it's just about being patient and riding it out, because he needs to destroy me right now with all the Shamans he can get, or he's already lost. So let's see how this evolves. There, he takes away my Shaman, I build my board right away. I get a bit lucky, you need that against the Shaman, but we managed to get our 4 units out. So let's see how this goes, and I'll pick in a little bit. So right there, one of my units just got nicked by a Shaman, no problem, because I had some spare mana to recover. So always have that mana, a little bit more than I had right here, but you know, if you can recover from Shamans or an error you might make, that's the most important part. Then you just need to out damage the Shaman, because he will never be able to get your damage. So during the early games, when he is spamming you with his Shaman, you know, just do enough damage to survive and stay in the game until you can build your board a bit better, and then, you know, he will fall off. He won't be able to do enough damage to keep up, and he also won't be able to spam enough shamans unless he's lucky, but usually not. And that's it. How to face Shaman. Be calm and patient. So let's end this video with the biggest advantage of this Inquisitor deck, and that's simply the fact that it's very consistent on the ladder. You know, these videos are for everybody. They're not just for the top players. They're for the mid-tier players, everybody that can make this deck, and it's a very consistent deck, and it will score you the most points. That's basically it. So I want to thank you all for watching once again. Thank you for the support. Thank you for joining my Discord, and a big congrats to my clan members from the Troopers for your great results lately. So guys, please subscribe to my channel. That would mean oh so much. Leave a like, leave a comment, and I will see you guys very soon on the battlefield.